Recorded session. skills are these?
Why am I into the more hip-hop side of drum and bass, and is it my passion for jazz that results in these sometimes really tricky and weird beats? Something about the speed of hip-hop, obviously being half the speed of drum and bass, so the two genres have a lot to do with each other. And there's a lot of scope for, I guess, a more half-time feel to drum and bass or jungle. I feel that at the moment the lines between hip-hop and drum and bass are becoming quite blurred. As far as jazz is concerned, I've always been into jazz as well. My brother is a jazz pianist and definitely taught me a lot about music in whilst I was kind of developing as an artist. And I guess there is something to. I always try and scope out what you can do with drum and bass as a template, and I'm not sure you can improvise in the same way that you can do with jazz, but there's definitely a lot of scope for innovation and a lot of scope to bring in other genres from world music, which I know jazz has as well. In terms of what you've described as kind of tricky and weird beats, I definitely get a kick out of, I'm not sure novelty is quite the right word, I'm not sure it does it justice, but I definitely like hearing something that I feel like I've never heard before, but only if it makes me want to dance or makes me, or if it's satisfying to me on some level. Not every type of just crazy beat pattern that you do just for the sake of it not being the classic drum and bass beat patterns is always going to be satisfying. But sometimes when you hit on one that is, but you've never heard it before, there's something pretty uniquely gratifying about that. Do I ever decide which to play, either drum and bass or hip hop, and is that sometimes quite hard? I've noticed recently that I'll come off the decks at playing certain places, and you'll have one person come up to you and say, "Oh, I kind of wish you played a little bit less hip-hop kind of trap footwork stuff and wanted you to roll it out a bit more, maybe play more jungle or just sort of rollers, steppers, essentially." And then a minute later, someone will come up to you and they'll say, "Oh, I really wasn't expecting you to play as many sort of straight up drum and bass tracks as you did. I didn't know you'd like it because a lot of your productions are more, as you said, like maybe hip hoppy or halftime." And maybe I think that the fact that you get those two people, and that often kind of happens, shows that there's a sort of a market for both. I mean, I'm into everything when it comes to drum and bass. I like the mission of moving through, just seeing how well you can gel together a set that starts quite sort of hip-hoppy, as you said, and move through to some bits that are a bit more lashing towards the end. So yeah, I've been enjoying that recently, definitely. Is there any other musical genre that I love and feel influenced by? I'm pretty much into every style of music under the sun. It's just that not all of it is to my tastes. Definitely recently, the past few years, the whole footwork thing has been really inspiring to me. There's something very raw about footwork, and I like that. There's not too much emphasis on how it sort of sounds or the mix down or anything, and it's really playful, and I like that. I think that sometimes drum and bass at certain parts of its history has run the risk of taking itself a little bit too seriously. I've always been into music that has a certain degree of humour to it, I guess, and I think there's something in that with this sort of footwork and trap thing, even though they're completely different genres. I think that's why I picked up on them so much, in what it allows you to do with the music, kind of be a bit freer with it to take it less seriously, I suppose. Obviously it's the same kind of speed as drum and bass as well, so there's a real kind of sort of, it's quite frantic as well, and I like that. I like trap stuff as well. I don't like all of it, but maybe not so much all of the kind of crazy bleepy siren-y stuff. But obviously being into hip-hop, trap's kind of like a more dance floor orientated version of hip-hop, and that's useful to me as a DJ. What keeps me going and pushing to find new styles of music and to keep trying to create new music all the time that sounds different from what I've created before, what is it that keeps me going? I've always liked the idea of being at the front, and because if you're at the front you can kind of see, right? If you're behind people, then you can't see what's in front of you. If you think about when you were a kid and you were kind of getting somewhere in a queue of people, and you'd have a kind of childlike tendency to want to get to the front, right? Not necessarily to be the leader, but just be able to see what's in front of you. So the thing about being the cutting edge, it's not so much me liking the idea that as an artist I am the cutting edge, but more being able to kind of connect with the future, and there's something gratifying about moving forwards by essentially looking behind you and taking influence from all these styles of music. And I think there is something I get out of novelty and pushing to find kind of that unique sound that keeps you interested. And I've got a very short attention span, so I can never, like, if I make a track in a certain style and I think that I've done it to a degree I'm happy with, I don't often just go back and make a track in exactly the same style. I kind of want to try something else. I guess it's that feeling of kind of conquering something new as well. So I'd say something in there is those sorts of things is what keep me moving forward with it and keep me going.
damn,